Hey, how are you? In the book Overcome Your Internal Limits, the author describes something called resistance. Every time you aim for something great, resistance will appear to prevent you from reaching that goal. Have you noticed? I'm sure there are two voices inside you. One is completely impulsive and persuasive, the other is more centered, serious, and determined. One is of primordial nature, meaning it was born with you. The other was made to make you regress every single day. One is what we call the soul, the other is what we call the spirit. The soul is a program. It didn't come with you, on the contrary, it was built day by day through judgments, thoughts, and logical reasoning. The mind was used a lot, the mind being something structured by life and your external or internal experiences. It was being built, meaning it became a soul. Everything that is built, everything that is not naturally yours, everything you weren't born with but was constructed, that is a facet of the soul, both positive and negative. Often, the soul appears subtly, especially for those who already have a somewhat higher level of consciousness. The higher your level of consciousness, the subtler your soul will need to be. And how to distinguish the soul? How to know if you are in the spirit or in the soul? Well, you first need to understand what the spirit is. The spirit is you. Remember when you were a child? You were curious, audacious, courageous, and walked without fear. You weren't afraid of being judged, nor afraid of what people would think of you. You were trying to discover the world, trying to understand this peculiarity. Where you could enter, where you could fit. You lived in the spirit. The spirit has no qualities but also no problems. With the spirit there is no moralism. The spirit is. I'm not telling you to abandon all your morals, on the contrary, I'm telling you to live in the spirit but also have a bit of soul, a bit of construction, a bit of culture. All of this is part of the soul. Have it but in balance. Every time you fall into imbalance and the soul takes over your life, notice, your life goes downhill. It collapses. The spirit is a constant urge to create, to seek, to understand. It has no limits. It transcends any obstacle. The spirit is like the wind. It runs free. The greatest enemy of the spirit is the soul. The greatest enemy of the soul is the spirit. They are opposites. While the soul seeks comfort, the spirit seeks the unknown, the new, what's outside the comfort zone. While the soul worries, the spirit acts. The spirit doesn't waste time talking, thinking, or calculating. It is continuous flow, relentless. It does not stop. The spirit is that which is impossible to distinguish within you. It is your purest essence. You cannot understand the spirit with the soul because every time you try to understand something you're using the mind, and the mind is one of the soul's facets. You only understand the spirit with the spirit itself. And the spirit feels, it does not think. From the spirit's feeling comes will. And from that will, life is born. Do you find yourself overthinking, overanalyzing? Know that you're in the soul. The spirit doesn't ponder, the spirit doesn't think. The spirit is emptiness, and from this emptiness, everything arises. The spirit is unknowable. You have an origin that precedes even the spiritual origin. If you're intuitive, you know what I mean. You feel it. It can't be explained. That is the spirit. If you want to refine your body, shape your muscles, have a good physique, that is willpower. That is spirit. But if you want to eat chocolate, break your diet, that's desire. That's the soul. Desire is everything that hits you hard, that feels urgent. It's passive. And everything that is passive comes from the soul. How to strengthen the spirit? By denying the soul. Each time you say no to the soul, the spirit grows. But if you deny the spirit, the soul wins. Then desire tries to derail you. You want to win in life, then waste time scrolling your screen. Desire makes you passive. Willpower elevates you. Desire doesn't shape you. Willpower does. The resistance from the book The War of Art is the soul. It's desire trying to overpower the spirit. The soul is a parasite. It wants to drain your spirit's energy. If you can distinguish the soul from the spirit, patience is one of the most beautiful facets of the spirit. Desire wants everything now. But willpower knows it takes time to bloom. The spirit is eternal. The soul is finite. Everything born from the spirit remains to this day. We are it. We started talking to it. Slowly we started to become it. We think we are our beliefs, our thought patterns, our limitations. We think we are everything we are not. The soul believes in death. The soul does not comprehend the eternity of the spirit. The soul believes in finitude and, because of that, it hurries, and ironically, self-destructs. When you rush to live, your eternity vanishes. Because there is no space for the spirit. No space to create. No space to cultivate. When I say eternal, understand it however you want. But either way, metaphorically or literally, we are eternal beings. If you allow yourself to live in the spirit, then you create. And you open doors to eternity. Just like Da Vinci, Elon Musk, Tesla, Socrates, Plato. They are all eternal beings. They left fractions of their spirits in the world. And thus, metaphorically, they are eternal. If you want to believe the spirit is literally eternal, that's okay too. It's true. But if you don't want to believe it, that's okay too. Then for you it will be a lie. When we live in the spirit, life passes more slowly. Life becomes the blossoming of a flower. And the spirit contemplates this blossoming. The spirit contemplates. And from contemplation works are born. Do you feel like becoming eternal? Know that infinite works will come from you. The soul will say, hey, this is good enough. Even though you know you can do much more. You can go much further. And yet you stay in comfort. And every time you listen to the soul, you become finite again. The works you created start to lose their value. People stop contemplating because they feel the spirit is no longer there. Only those who walk the path from beginning to end remain eternal. Those who settle for what they've already achieved are thrown into oblivion. We do not contemplate the work. We contemplate the author of the work, the spirit. And every time we witness its manifestation, if you have great goals, go after them. But focus on the road. Focus on the walk. Life is point A to point B, not just point B. If you don't have a goal, you have no road to walk, which means you have no way to live. So we might as well bury you. But I know you don't want to be buried, right? Ignite a true goal. Ignite your spirit. Move forward with relentless will. You will not regret it. Sometimes think about your goal with the intention of continuing on your path. You can imagine what it will be like, the experiences you'll go through, all the things connected to it. But then return to the road. The final goal is just one of the thousands of journey possibilities. Traveling to Asia, for example, is just one path. You could go to Africa, to Europe. Goals shape the path. Before thinking about the goal, think about which path you're truly willing to take. Often we set a goal, but the path to reach it isn't aligned with us. That goal will only be real if the path becomes real first. How to know if you're walking the path of the soul or the spirit? Simple, the soul follows everyone else's path. It copies. The spirit, on the other hand, is wild. It creates its own way. Nobody understands how, but somehow it gets there. Maybe not perfectly, but the result is genuine. Every experience is valuable for the spirit. The spirit is eternal. It only wants to learn. Give a child paper and a pen and they'll create freely. Now fill it with rules, the spark fades. Same thing with the spirit. Trying to trap the wind makes it no longer wind. Standardizing the spirit makes it disappear. The world will always give you two tool sets. The ones that let your spirit manifest and the standardized ones used by everyone else. You choose. Confucius once said, choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. Because what comes from the spirit doesn't feel like work. It brings flow, not fatigue. The spirit transforms everything into eternity. If you chose to live by the spirit, you chose the best path, to create your reality through your essence, your origin. And to finish, whenever you feel heavy, driven by intense desire or inner conflict, know this, your soul might be draining your spirit. If you're constantly tired, that's likely the case. If you choose to listen to the spirit instead of the soul, you won't need to fight. The spirit will be louder and more present. Only those who don't know their path end up fighting the soul. And hey, it's okay to listen to the soul sometimes. It's part of being in the material world. But beware, one slip and the soul will want to take over again. Trying to overcome something. That's a big enough opening for the soul to try and dominate you. For the soul to say, oh, you've already lost. So just keep losing. That's how the soul works. It gives you what you want, gives you that desire, and then pulls you down. Be careful. So every time you listen to the soul, do it consciously. Listen knowing that you chose to because your spirit allowed it first. That way you can always return to your spirit even after giving in to the soul. Well, that's it, my loved ones. Watch this video as many times as you need to.